is named that because لأنه يقوم بعد ذكر موته. He will rise. يقوم. He will rise after the mention of his death. People will be talking about his death. He's probably died. Isn't that something that someone wrote in his thesis in this country recently? You know, people will be talking about his death. That is a time when he will rise. That is one of the signs. Then the Imam al-Islam said, there are other things that I cannot say because there are young people here. Those wordings are very harsh about the last of the time. That will happen. I will probably tell you later. But the Imam al-Islam said people should prepare. He is the final, he's the final coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One thing, the Imam al-Islam will not take excuses. People who become baligh at the age of 15, he will say, lunar years, 20 years. 5 years you've had, why haven't you learned your obligations? Why aren't you practicing? Up to that, he will give them time. But anyone 20 and over, he will say, you have no excuses. Unless a person gives a genuine excuse and says, yes, I'll practice, he will not listen to them. The Imam al-Islam, when he comes, he will rule like Hadith Khidr. Anyone knows how Hadith Khidr ruled? Hadith Khidr did not listen to see the apparent things. You know the Holy Prophet, when the people said, Ya Rasulullah, this person, he committed a crime. For example, he stole something. He's a thief. So the Holy Prophet did not punish him. He said, no, there are 2 witnesses needed. Until the 2 witnesses come, adil witnesses, I won't punish him. Even though he knew through his knowledge that this person is a thief. Likewise, Imam Ali Raza. They let people go. Many times. We have seen. Hadith Khidr didn't. You know, in Surah Qasas and Surah Taha, Hadith Musa, he said, why did you kill that young man? There was no reason for you to kill him. He said, he was a bad doer. You can't, you're not obliged from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I am. The 12th Imam will rule like that. People will commit crimes and they will be punished right away. People will say, what happened to you? Why were you punished? The Imam will say, this is what he did and I punished him for that. So prepare yourselves. Preparation doesn't mean that he is coming within our lifetime. It doesn't mean that he's not. But you should be prepared that if the Imam al-Salam says, are you ready for me? You say, yes, Mawla, I am. There is this talk of 313. 313 people who will be the first. 50 of those are women, according to some traditions. And these men are the ones who will be governors of the different states he will form. On earth, he will form 313 states. Yes? And these 313 will be his governors. In all of those states. So they are people like Salman and Abu Dhar, not common people. So when those 313 are completed, meaning there are so many good people and there are 313 at the top level, that's when the Imam al-Islam will come. So if we were ready and there are 313 and the Imam al-Islam will come. How to prepare is not to think if the Imam comes, what? No, now I should be prepared. I am in the presence of the Imam al-Islam now. You should be doing your obligations and all the responsibilities now. I would rather have a dialogue rather than, like this one-way traffic. I like two-way traffic. Yes, I'll take questions. There are many signs of the zuhur. I talked about some upstairs in Urdu, and there are others. So inshallah we'll talk about them. Yes. Okay. If you say it so loudly because everyone is here, otherwise I'll have to repeat the questions. If I can't hear you, that means others can't.
Can you throw some light on the life of Imam, like how he was born, how much he lived on the earth?
Okay, do you want to know about his life? Okay, now basic thing is that he was born from a mother who is called Hazrat Nargis, or in Arabic, Narjis, because there is no Gaf there is no G in Arabic, so they say Narjis. Okay, that is one of my favorite names. I wanted to name my daughter that, but none of my daughters are named that because they were all born on an occasion. So I had to name him after that. One of my daughters was born on the wafat of the Khadija, so I named her that. So the night I was reading a majlis and she was born, and the other one was born in the Ghadir. I wanted to name her Narjis, but then we named her, Masuma. So likewise, we kept changing the... So Isham I intended, and then someone else from my family members nicked that name. And they named their daughter Narjis. So that is one of my... That is the mother of the Prophet Imam. She is from Rome, she is from Europe. She was so sacred and holy that Hazrat Fatima came to a dream and converted her. Hazrat Zahra came and said, Allah has chosen you to be the mother of the final, the savior. And she said, I said to her, are you Hazrat Maryam? She said, no, I am Fatima, the daughter of the last prophet. Likewise in Portugal there was an incident when those three girls also, they've also made a film, but I haven't seen that. I don't know how authentic have they made that film, Fatima. So all of those three girls said, are you Maryam? She said, no, I'm not Maryam, I'm Fatima. A woman they saw in hijab, in Islamic dress. So Hazrat Zahra has been converted, So people have to realize that this is who they... So Hazrat Narjis, she was a princess, she was the daughter of the king. She left Europe to come to Arabia. She said, how will I leave? Everyone will know that I'm the princess, I have so much security in the palace. She said, no, you go with the slave girls and they will be taken. So you go and change your dress should be not of the princess, but so simple that no one finds out. So just cover your face and wear the dress of, simple dress of the slave girls. When your face is covered, they won't know that you have gone. The slaves usually were from Africa and she was a European. So she covered her face and she wore the dress. She came all the way. Imam Ali Raza Rizvi, he told one of his companions that you will go and purchase this slave girl in this dress, and these are the signs. So the Hazrat Narjis, she said, no, I'll not go with anyone. I'm waiting for someone because I have been given a message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So she waited, and that when she saw the same person come, she said, yes, I'm willing to go now. Imam Ali recited the nikah of Hazrat Narjis with Imam Hassan Askari, his son. And they had, the 12th Imam has the signs of all the different prophets. His birth was hidden just like Hazrat Musa. Pharaoh wanted to kill that person who was going to overthrow his government, so he was killing all the sons. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had actually hidden the pregnancy of Hazrat Musa's mother, so no one knows that she will give birth to Hazrat Musa. No one could tell. Likewise, when Imam Hassan Askari said to his auntie Hazrat Hakima, who is buried next to Hazrat Narjis, and they are both buried next to Hazrat Imam Ali Naqi, Imam Hassan Askari in Samarra, he said, auntie, stay in my house today because tonight will be the birth of the last savior. She said, but your wife doesn't have any signs of, pregnancy. He said, oh auntie, it is a sign from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will see it later on. She says that night when he was born, there was light filled in that whole room. And that, I could tell that there is someone special coming. And as soon as he was born, he placed his forehead on the ground and he said, Ja al-haq wa zahaq al-batil. When he recited this verse, straight away I knew that this is a special person. He said salam to his father in Arabic because I'm just like Jesus. He spoke when he was in the cradle. When he became 5, his father died at the age of 28. His father was given poison. His uncle wanted to leave the janazah, Ja'far Tawab or Kadab. He later on repented. He said, I will leave the janazah and I'm the next imam. No one knew that there is a child living in the house. He came and he said, uncle, move. You know that this is a janazah of an imam and only an imam leads the janazah. He came and moved him, and when he led, people said, a 5-year-old, how can he know the janazah? And he recited the longest du'as and led the janazah. He said, everyone move because I will put my father in the grave. I have given him ghusl and kafan because only a masoom gives ghusl and kafan to masoom. When people saw that this is not an ordinary child, he went and placed his father in the ground. He made the grave perfectly. And the strength and powers they saw, then everyone knew that this is the imam. The people wanted to take him, and then he went into ghaiba. Now, in his ghaibat here, this is a long history. I cannot go into a few questions.
Could be a reason why Allah chosen a girl from European country, Christian girl, instead of from Arabian country?
Sorry? What is the reason? Yes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose the best women to be the mothers of their imams. The best of conduct, akhlaq, taqwa, iman. if there wasn't one in Arabia,
Yeah.
then the mother came from another